It's safe to say, regardless of which promotion or which brand you watch, we all kind of want the same thing when it comes to wrestling. I know that's kind of a hard pill to swallow. I know some of the tribal folks might be absolutely opposed to what I'm saying, but I think we're all on the same side here in the fact that as wrestling fans in general, we just want a good performance. We just want something to take our mind off things. We just want a good show, good presentation, good in-ring work, good storylines if that's what you're into. We just want something good, something serviceable, of distraction in our art form that we love, regardless of, which channel or which app you have to go to find it. I know it's really rough these days, especially because there's so many options and there's so many places to get exactly what you're looking for, and wrestling is, I would say, more accessible than it ever was with how you can find content for it. So it is a little bit tricky to be like, well, I'm not getting what I want, because you can definitely just go and find what you want, right? Because you can definitely just go find the type of wrestling or the wrestling style, whatever you're looking for. But mainly I just wanted to make this type of rant video here to talk about the fact that we all just want the same thing at the end of the day. I was recently introduced to a promotion that I would not have watched based on what I heard about it through word of mouth. I think it was like late last year, mid last year, I was finally introduced to AEW. I never really wanted to watch it because I saw it as like the edgelord version of wrestling, which, don't get me wrong, I've come to love it now. But I just felt like it had like a sort of air about it that made it seem a little bit trashy in a mainstream sort of way. Like, I'm not dissing AEW. Stop typing right now, in case you're one of those weirdos who gets offended by everything. Don't worry, I love all wrestling now. I just think we're all looking for the same shit, and we just had to find it out one way or another. Because I'll talk to AEW fans or TNA fans or like CZW fans or, New Japan fans, and it's all like we're looking for good shit, good matches, good performances. We want to see these guys go out there, these girls go out there and put on a fucking amazing show. And I think regardless of the flavor that you get it in, like, you might like it in a really sterile WWE sort of way, which was how I was at first, where I pretty much only grew up with WWE, so I only knew the mainstream, cleaned up, polished version that we eventually would come to get these days, opposed to like a more rough and gritty style like the old ECW or modern AEW. So me, myself, I would end up leaning more towards that kind of portrayal of wrestling. Whereas someone who is more into the bloody stuff or into the extreme sort of wrestling or, crazy spots that involve kind of out there weaponry like syringes or cinder blocks and stuff, they might lean more towards that extreme CZW or, AEW or ECW stuff. But at the end of the day, we still want the same thing. We still want to be entertained. We still like, the overall niche, the overall genre of it. I feel like the landscape where there's so much more wrestling than there used to be, where you got Netflix for WWE, you got HBO Max for the AEW, you got TNA on AMC. Like, there's so much all over the place. And like, if you were a fan of the art form so much that like you wanted to just make your entire life about wrestling, you literally deadass could. Like, you could seriously ingratiate yourself or drown yourself in wrestling, which I think is a cool thing. You can drown yourself in wrestling and just be like, wow. I do think the disagreement comes in where it's who's delivering it, right? Because in that same example we gave for the more sterile environment where it's like, hey, I kind of want to see, a bit more of a fair or predictable back and forth. I want things to be kind of a slow sort of pace where things are safer. We're not really risking, freak accidents so often. You might lean towards, the WWE style of things. and kind of shun the TNA or the AEW ones, where it's like with AEW you might want a more strong style, like a hard-hitting style. You might want more flips or more like adrenaline-based stuff, a faster work rate, and you're like, well, I don't really want to watch the sterile guy stuff. I want to watch the stuff where my wrestlers are doing, you know, backflip moon stomps and whatnot and going through tables with barbed wire on, like, and you're perfectly within your right to do that. I think there's nothing wrong with the preference at all. In fact, I think that makes it healthy. The fact that we have so many options nowadays as to where we can get our wrestling fix from is a beautiful thing. I think as long as the art form is being expressed in some way, shape, or form, it's being kept alive. There's different avenues for a performer to go and test their skill set, or, maybe broaden their horizons. It's going to be an awesome thing. I don't particularly follow or chase wrestlers when they move to new promotions outside of like the more easily accessible mainstream stuff, just because it's lighter on me. I really can't keep up with all of it. There's so much these days, but I'm happy to know that, at least there's a place for everybody to go out and do their thing. I think we would be in a much worse situation if people were just forced to deal with a singular body that presents the wrestling. And that may be where the concern is coming in from when it comes to the monopolization lately, where WWE is just kind of buying up everything, where it's like, we really, really don't want the thing to become ad fest, where it never had to be that before, right? Where it's just like generating so much revenue that you're no longer seeing the fans of wrestling as a whole as, members of a family or the universe, as they like to call it. Like, now you're just seeing everyone as dollar signs. And I think that'll be ugly if it takes over every damn promotion. But for right now, at the time of this recording, we still got some holdouts. We still got some okay stuff. I do think that when it comes to wrestling shows and performances and, the booking of events and all that, we would all love to have affordable tickets. It's very easy to dunk on someone for kind of overpricing the hell out of their events because we want to be able to support or at least tune in to the thing that we're checking out. I know there are people who are like way bigger fans of the shit than me that would, buy replica belts for several $100s and, every new t-shirt of their favorite superstar that comes out and all the action figures and all that. Like, I know they want to support the shit. So why make it harder for them to do that? Why string them along like that? I don't think that's a good idea. But that's neither here nor there. End of the day, I think we should all not be so tribal in some senses. Like, it's okay to have a preference. It's just a little weird and off-putting. And I think it does more damage than helps when you kind of ride for one company so hard that you're kind of putting down the others or putting down fans of the others. I think we could all respect each other a little bit more. I think we're mature enough to do all that in the wrestling space. I would hope so. And like, have an open mind. If something's not your thing, there's nothing wrong with that. But like, I really went into watching AEW and like classic ECW shit and like, even some CCW death matches where I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna like this. This isn't really my cup of tea, but like, I'm just a fan of the entire shit. Like, I'm a fan of wrestling as a whole. So when I actually sat there and did it, I was like, oh wow, that was a new experience. I did not expect to enjoy that as much as I did. So hey, who knows? If you guys are enjoying these rant videos, I'll do more. If not, I'll stop covering wrestling on this channel completely. You guys have a bunch of content on here already that you can watch if you really want to watch it. I also have a bonus Patreon with over 200 hours of content that I cannot post to YouTube. So if you want to see that, it is free. Click that link in the description. Let me know how you feel about it. And I will see you in the next video. So do not be weird. I mean it. Do not be weird. Thank you so much to those of you that have made it over to the Patreon. I appreciate you. Trouble, that's me. Cherry lips and bad energy. Say